Good morning, everybody. It has been 8 days.
Too little, too late, far too late, excessively late. The ship has sailed. Early bird gets the worm, not on time. When it's gone, it's gone. First come, first serve. Early bird catches the worm. Behind time. Belated, delayed, long delayed. Too late, too slow. First in, best dressed. Early bed, early to arise. Early to bed, early to rise. Finders, keepers. You snooze, you lose. It's too late. It's useless now. Opportunity's already passed.
I think that was a great explanation for why it's been 8 days, so I think we'll just move right on.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That was really thought out. How long did it take you to write that?
Zero. That was all off the brain. Big brain. Huge brain. Giant brain.
Gigantic brain.
You know what I've been loving about my big brain?
What?
It's been firing on all cylinders.
Seriously?
Yep.
Can you please explain further?
Huge brain, front motor cortex has been dripping with success lately, and I'm feeling it.
So your motor skills are up?
Way up.
Really?
Way up. And
how have you noticed? Like, what has this changed in your life? Literally, they could not be any louder.
I know this. Oh God. What is your question?
Hold on.
Oh my God, they're just disturbing our whole flow. I'm out of rhythm.
Isn't honey mustard different than regular mustard? Like, I feel like it should be classified as mustard.
You feel like it should be classified as mustard?
It should not be classified.
It is.
It's
It's just sugar mustard.
So what? Why? What do you mean it shouldn't be classified as mustard if it's mustard?
Okay, because I told Addie I have honey mustard chips, and she scoffed at me and says, I don't like mustard. It's not mustard. It's honey mustard. It's totally different.
I will say
it's not about the differences. It's about the seed. It's where it comes from.
Technically, it's mustard. I get that does sound funny to be like, you want some honey mustard? I don't like mustard. Mustard's kind of like a blanket for like many delicious goos.
Okay.
You put them suck on a hot dog. You put it on a Piggly Wiggly. You put it on literally anything.
And a Miss Vicky's chip as well, and it's delicious.
Well, that's not real mustard though. Maybe it is.
The flavoring.
I think that honey mustard is. There's no way to argue it's not mustard, but you can say it fits into a very different flavor profile.
I think its characteristics do not fit it into the mustard category. Does it have turmeric in it? I don't know.
What are you talking about? Oh, you sound so dumb right now.
Mustard is it has a lot of turmeric. That's why it tastes so funky gunky, is because of the turmeric.
It's not funky gunky. It's delicious.
But that's why I feel that's probably the part most people don't like is the turmeric. It's a very strong flavor, and it's not very common within other foods.
I feel like you don't know what you're talking about. I feel like turmeric is carrot.
Doug, I don't even know what to say to you right now.
Say it to my face.
You said carrot?
Carrot.
I can't even hold a conversation with this guy.
Are you saying turmeric put on your face?
Somebody get him off the podcast.
Don't get me off the podcast. I'm better than I've ever been. Come on.
They add turmeric to yellow mustard.
Okay,
For the color,
what about
probably,
honey
right?
mustard? Look,
For the color?
is it in honey mustard?
Oh my God. Honey mustard is a totally different thing.
Dude,
There's a difference between Chick-fil-A honey mustard like glaze and like real honey mustard. I feel like you're not appreciating real honey mustard. Respond.
What? Have you seen the coloring of honey mustard?
Yeah.
It is way lighter, okay? And it is sweet and saucy, and it does not taste like turmeric. Please fact
Ingredients in honey mustard: soybean oil,
Ew.
yellow mustard,
Nice.
which yellow mustard it says is distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, salt, turmeric, paprika, spice. Distilled vinegar, sugar, water, egg yolk, honey. Contains less than 2% of salt, xanthan gum, spice, oleo resin paprika for color, and oleo resin turmeric for color.
Wow, holy moly, it's got mustard in it? That's crazy.
It's honey mustard is just yellow mustard with sugar, water,
with
egg
honey.
yolk, and honey.
Okay. See, that's why I asked the question. And I got
okay.
an answer.
I agree
no
with
more
your
questions from her. That was the worst. Oh, God.
your sentiment of them being very different. I agree with. Very different things to put on.
Texture is different too.
Yeah, it's probably the egg yolk. But I agree. I think you're right, but just unfortunately you didn't.
Unfortunately,
we did not need to get technical.
Unfortunately, you're wrong.
Technically, you're wrong. Practically, you're right.
Practically.
And you know what? I'm a practical person, so.
That's not possible.
Well.
We're thinking with our butts here. We need to be thinking what a murderous cortex is. And when my cortex is talking about mustard, I'm talking about mustard as a mustard, and it's from all the mustards. Honey mustard is mustard. That is not good.
The power did just flicker. That's fine. Most of this stuff runs off battery anyway.
Wow, things are going down right now. We are in a flood.
Yeah, the weather's not good outside. Actually, it looks pretty fine right now, but the power is struggling very hard to stay on. So
someone just rammed into our freaking transformer.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. We have probably, if the power does go all the way out, it'll look dark on YouTube, but most people I think listen, and the laptop will last a long time. It's running the recorder.
Top 5 videos I have in my brain right now. Actually, top 1 videos I have in my brain right now. Girl twerking on the transformer blows up.
Yes.
Really cool because she was twerking in front of a group of black guys on a transformer power unit.
She's at like a transfer station just up on.
She just explodes.
She's up on, like, you know, they have those like ceramic insulators and all those giant switches that you flip the switch and it goes like and it cuts the power, like,
yeah,
very, very, very high voltage 3-phase AC
it
current
does what
running
electricity does.
And she was twerking up there right next to it, and it arced on her actual ass, and she exploded.
And it exploded.
And I'm sure that she just like showed up and like to the pearly gates still twerking and was like looking around like, oh no.
That would be a crazy end to your life, is you're like, I gotta twerk on this transfer station, hop up there, and then you get to twerk and everyone's like, yeah. And then, just white. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, and I would imagine you're still kind of doing whatever. I'm imagining it's like instantaneously you're just at the pearly gates and everything's white and you're still doing whatever you're doing. She's like, yeah, she's twerking and she's like, kitty sexy. And they're like, kitty sexy. They're like, ma'am. She's like, oh. It's like that meme of the monkey.
Where am I?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Where am I?
Yeah,
well,
it was a horrible video to watch. I'm not going to play it on here because we are a family-friendly show, and we go to all of the YouTube guidelines, and there's no reason to shadow ban us or anything, so we're very family-friendly, so we won't play that, but it was a very tragic video where this girl just got vaporized by electricity. It arced through her rear end, and she probably instantly fried everything. Like, I don't think there was a second for her to react. I think she was just instantly cooked.
I agree. Only reason why it's my favorite video is just because it's not what you expected to happen. It's like when someone plays a trap card on you when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're like, oh my god, I did not expect that to happen. It's kind of the same exact thing when you're talking about girls twerking on Transformers and then exploding.
Yeah.
But, nevertheless, she is gone. She's no longer with us. And I don't know. That's obviously not a good thing when someone explodes. But the IQ of that said person may have been a tad on the low side.
And the other thing is, there was probably a lot of effort to get in there and then up onto that. She was on like some kind of junction box or something, and she would have had to climb a fence past all the signs that, first of all, no trespassing, second of all, danger, high voltage, keep out, like all
danger,
of the
you will
signs,
explode.
You'll literally. It says plastered all over those places. Like, you cannot come in here. And then so she had to actively ignore the signs. Maybe she couldn't read. We don't technically know. We can't ask her either because she's dead. But she would have climbed up past the
Rest her
fence,
soul, obviously.
and then she would have had to figure out how to climb up onto the thing she was on. And then
she was definitely perspirating by the time she got up there.
And there was some like she should have arced out immediately, and she didn't. She was twerking for quite a few seconds up on her little platform she was on. So that
on her stage
that there was some divine intervention. God was trying to hold it off. He's like, please stop, please stop, please stop.
Just get
and then
down.
he's like, and then eventually he's like, okay, you've
all right, it's time.
You've dug your own grave, and now it's time to lie down in it. Quite literally.
Poor girl.
Okay, this is a thought that I've had, and I might have asked this on the pod before, but I don't know. If you cook any animal, like what was it? You guys had that goat that died, and you threw him on the burn pit or on the pile and gave him like a Viking funeral or whatever.
Yes.
And you said it smelled delicious, or somebody said that. Smelled like something was cooking.
Yeah,
goat.
Yep.
You could eat goat all day long, and it probably smells pretty good when it's cooking. I've never heard anybody say, like, people talk about like the stench of burning humans and burning flesh.
Yeah,
like,
I think we just react to it differently. I think we just have a different smell.
Why don't we get to smell good when we're burning? At least that's like our last thing we get to do on the earth, is like release a bunch of delicious odor, and we instead have a stench. I don't like that,
because
I want to smell delicious. If
we
I'm
don't
burning.
have a ribeye, we don't have a top round, we don't have a bottom round, we don't have an eye of chuck, all these beautiful cuts of meat that we devour day to day. We just don't have. We have we got skin and bone basically, and that girl had a lot of fat in a certain place, but probably not a good smell.
Yeah.
Because there's fecal matter that's gross.
I just don't understand why humans don't get to smell delicious when they burn.
If we both exploded, we would explode in a wall of stench. There would be no.
That's true.
There would be no good smells.
Well, I think both of us disproportionately create a lot of dangerous gases, and and I don't know why.
Where it comes from is eggs.
You keep saying it's coming from the eggs, and I'm tempted to believe you because I feel like you've dialed it down with the eggs, and it hasn't been as bad lately.
Exactly.
But I'm still holding off for maybe you're just having a good week or something, and maybe it's
not having a good week. I'm having a great week, and it's because of the eggs. I had one egg today. I had 0 eggs yesterday.
Food.
And they are just a great food, especially breakfast food.
Yeah, they're great.
And now I can't eat them anymore because something happens down deep.
Very high in cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, really, if you're over like a certain age, you shouldn't be eating like 5 eggs anymore. Like, you need to calm down.
I think the cholesterol thing is a hoax.
Well, I think that there's like cholesterol itself, not necessarily a horrible thing, but if you're like starting to get older to the point where your body doesn't process stuff as rapidly anymore, I think you can build up high cholesterol. I think that can be an issue, but people try and say like red meat is super high cholesterol. I think, yeah, like maybe if you're eating like nothing but ground beef, like you're gonna have more problems than high cholesterol.
Nah, dude. If you eat just ground beef, you're gonna be the healthiest you've ever been.
Well, ground beef, I feel like, is probably the least healthy form of beef. Really high in fat, and because there's all the fats ground into it, and it's got like it's the worst cuts with the lowest.
Your body processes fat it processes fat differently than people think it processes fat. Fat's actually incredibly good for you. a certain
You
point.
need it. You need lipids, but you can't, like, I feel like you can't process them as fast. Like, you need a certain amount, but you don't need, like, an excess.
The body at a certain point does an adaptation to whatever you're eating as far as the gut and where it provides nutrients. So if you go on any diet and stick with that diet, your body's going to end up adapting to it no matter what. I mean, if you do just ground beef, you're probably going to feel amazing.
Well, that's true because just ground beef, this is the thing, it's the comparison. Just ground beef is significantly better than, like, all of the hyper-processed foods that we eat. Like, some people think they have a healthy diet. They're going out, they're getting a salad, and what are they putting on that salad? Ranch dressing. Horrible. Just like a chemical soup of...
Dude, I don't understand the ranch
It's delicious.
dressing.
I love it. It's delicious, especially on a salad. So good. I understand why people like it, but it is just horrendous. Like, thing to it, like, just ruins a salad.
Only thing I put ranch dressing on is maybe buffalo wings and celery. That's pretty much the
Buffalo wings and celery without ranch is like...
only thing. Ranch on a salad
What
is
about
an
blue cheese?
abomination.
People eat blue cheese.
Blue cheese
I've
is
never
good.
gotten into blue cheese yet, but I feel like if I gave it a shot right now, it used to weird me out for whatever reason. I think if I gave it a shot right now, I'd probably like it.
You would. I prefer blue cheese on the wings, but I don't prefer blue cheese on the celery. It's very good on the wing. It's got a little bit more tang than the ranch does, and a little bit more texture as well, which is nice.
I think I need to go give blue cheese a try because I've been just dogging on it for so long, and I don't remember the last time I tried it. And I've always just thought I don't like blue cheese, but I literally cannot remember. I don't know what it tastes like.
I used to not like blue cheese, but once I got blue cheese one time with some wings, it was nothing else.
Because I love cheese. I love blue.
I don't know.
I think that I'd probably like it.
I don't know if it's... Is it a cheese?
I think it's like a cheese puree or something, and it's got, like, they let it rot a little bit, and it starts to get delicious. Well, I'm assuming because like I said, don't really know. And it's not blue like blue. It's BLEU. BLEU cheese. Wide range of cheeses made with the addition of cultures of edible molds, which create blue-green spots or veins through the cheese. Blue cheeses vary in taste from very mild to strong and from slightly sweet or to salty or sharp. In color from pale to dark and in consistency from liquid to hard. They may have a distinctive smell either from the mold or from various specifically cultivated bacteria such as Brevibacterium linens. And some blue cheeses are injected with spores before the curds form, and others have spores mixed in with the curds after they form. Blue cheeses are typically aged in temperature-controlled environments. I think that's it. As a younger person, I knew that they were mold, and that just got me just so upset.
Yeah, I could see how that could make you upset.
But mold is like, I mean, penicillin is mold, and that literally led to...
Look at that. Yeah.
See, like,
beautiful.
it looks like you shouldn't eat it. Like, you're just used to mold means bad. Bleu de guerre.
No, blue good. Soft blue cheese made.
A creamy, semi-soft blue cheese made in Loire region of France.
Oh my gosh. I think the mold good.
Mold is, I mean, fungus, like, you think about the amount of fungus. And mold is fungus. Mold is a type of fungus, correct? Do I sound smart right now?
I don't know. I don't know if you sound smart. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's fungus. Molds form fungi. They grow in multicellular filaments called hyphae. Molds can thrive in any organic matter, including clothing, leather, paper, and the ceilings, walls, and floors of homes with moisture management problems. Yeah, mold, like fungus, we have like a lot of critical funguses in our body. I mean, yeah, penicillin is will eat all kinds of different bacteria and stuff, and it doesn't damage us. It'll also outcompete fungal infections. I'm pretty sure. It's like
Ooh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how they found penicillin originally.
It's a fungicide, baby. Come on now.
I'm pretty sure it outcompeted. They were like studying a bunch of different spores. They were putting them all together, and anytime they put penicillin in 1928, Dr. Alexander Fleming returned from a holiday to find mold growing in a petri dish of Staphylococcus bacteria. He noticed the mold seemed to be preventing the bacteria around it from growing. He soon identified that the mold produced a self-defense chemical that could kill bacteria. So the penicillin was trying to defend itself from the Staphylococcus.
Ooh, Staphylococcus. Ooh.
Yeah. But that's so cool that it's like he went on holiday and he came back and he's like, oh, the mold has prevented the bacterium.
Oh, did he win a prize?
I'm sure he did. I mean, penicillin changed the world.
What prize did he win? Did he win a good prize?
I'm sure. I'll look up penicillin.
Do you think he got some money?
I'll look up Dr. Alexander Fleming. See what comes up.
Ooh,
he's
a nice,
handsome.
Nice face.
Okay, let's see what he got.
Born in 1861. What a freaking fraud.
Was a Scottish physician and microbiologist, best known for discovering the world's first broadly effective antibiotic substance, which he named penicillin. His discovery in, penicillin staphylococcus. That's just funny. His discovery in 1928 of what was later named benzyl penicillin, or penicillin G, from the mold Penicillium rubens, has been described as the single greatest victory ever achieved over disease. For his discovery, he shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1945 with Howard Florey and Ernst Boris Chain. He also discovered the enzyme lysozyme from his nasal discharge in 1922, and along with it, a bacterium he called Micrococcus.
This guy, man.
Micrococcus lysodechitis.
What is wrong with this guy? Must have been a closeted gay. Micrococcus, it will be named.
Micrococcus lysodechitis. No, Lysodicticus. Lysodicticus.
Interesting.
Later named Micrococcus luteus. Fleming was knighted for his scientific achievements in 1944. In 1999, he was named in Time magazine's list of the 100 most important people of the 20th century. In 2002, he was chosen in the BBC's television poll for determining the 100 greatest Britons. Wouldn't you say Brits? And in 2009, he was also voted third greatest Scot. He was only the third greatest. Who are the greatest Scots?
Man, they must have been really great.
Behind Robert Burns, also known Rabbie Burns, he was a Scottish poet and lyricist.
Oh.
He got beat out by the dude with the words.
He got worded out. That's ridiculous.
Robert Burns. What did he do that was so good? I want to see.
Wrote some stupid poetry. God. He beat the dude who beat disease.
Yeah.
What?
And William Wallace, one of the main leaders during the First War of Scottish Independence. Okay, yeah, that dude,
nice.
For sure important, Sir William Wallace, because otherwise there would be no Scots, right? He was the knight who became one of the main leaders. Yeah, that makes sense. The dude with the words, I mean, yeah, it's important to have like art, but to beat out the dude who came up with penicillin because he must have had a way with words, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he must have been swooning everybody. He swooned the Nobel Peace people. Ooh.
Great source of information. After his death, he became a great source of inspiration to the founders of both liberalism and socialism, and a culture icon. So the dude was the first liberal, and he won.
First libtard. Fascinating.
That's hilarious. That's so crazy. That is something that. So who put him on that list? Who did it say?
It was the BBC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh no. STV, free public broadcast television, Central Scotland and Northern Scotland ITV public broadcaster license. I feel like that's just so ridiculous to put in the first paragraph of his Wikipedia page that some tiny Scottish broadcasting company put socialism guy that was a poet above penicillin guy, literal micrococcus.
Yeah, Dukakis. That's a hit on life as we know it, actually.
Yeah, this changes everything.
This changes everything. It's like the LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate. It's like, yeah, it's not as drastic as that, but everybody knows who's the better one. But of course they want to make the other guy because he's a libtard. Oh my God, I just can't. I can't even get into it because they're both black, and I will catch another charge.
Speaking of politics, Donald Trump got shot in an assassination attempt at his rally in Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that I know that we're not that close to the ocean, but something smells fishy.
Whoa, nice one. That was good, actually.
And it's fishy everywhere. You got people saying he completely faked it, which bonkers. But then you got people saying like the Secret Service planned it, also bonkers. Something's real. This is crazy. Like the top police force probably in the entire world is in charge of protecting current and past presidents, and they completely botched a job. Like
they completely botched it. First of all, the president, or I guess acting president of security, what is it? It was police security time.
Secret Service
is used to be the head of security for Pepsi. Very kind of strange how you rise to power like that. Such a horrible thing that happened July 13th. Freaking the lady doesn't step down, which is kind of crazy to me. Why wouldn't you step down after that?
Yeah, that's
under your regime, you get a president shot, and you're not like, I probably shouldn't be doing this.
And the crazy thing is, like, there was people like, man with a gun right here, Mr.
I know.
There's a guy with a gun. Call the police. They're calling the police. Apparently, there's police officers running around in the building confused. There's police officers. I heard this could be complete BS. I heard a police officer like confronted the dude and then got nervous.
Yeah, there's a lot of riffraff going around. There's like, the eyewitnesses are crazy because there's a bunch of them. And they're like, yo, we saw him going up the building. We saw him crawling. We were telling people. They didn't react to anything. There is the map of where it happened and exactly where a SWAT team was supposed to be on the roof. They weren't on the roof.
There was like one building.
There was one
to worry about.
One building to worry about.
That was the only place they didn't have people like ready.
They said they weren't on that roof because of a safety concern about the slope of the roof. The slope was less than the roof that the actual CS guys were on, who's counter snipers. It just doesn't. It's not adding up. Now, we do have to ask. I mean, some questions here because the left right now is saying that it was a setup on Trump's part.
Yeah.
Which to me doesn't make any sense. A firefighter died. Another two people like brutally wounded. Doesn't make sense that that would happen. Even like you think about it, like logically and rationally, doesn't make sense for that to happen, and then bullets to spray into the crowd.
Also, there might be maybe if you ask me this question, do you think that there's a marksman alive or ever alive that could pull off a shot that hit the president in the ear and didn't kill him while he's moving?
Yeah.
And just grazed his ear? I would say maybe one ever, maybe two. And it would still be a really risky, like super risky shot.
Yeah.
I mean, the wind at that point comes into play, like the wind on the barrel of the rifle.
Yeah.
Like it's down to everything. And maybe there's a couple people who could pull that off. But I know it's not a random 20-year-old guy.
No,
you know,
yeah.
it's just not. So I really doubt there's any way that could have been set up by Trump.
I
That
know.
just doesn't make sense. And if it
well,
was,
they were saying there were shots, and then it was a blood pill that he exploded. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain. So that would mean that the guy just shot some people behind Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
And then made it seem like
There, I watched a Navy SEAL talk about the accuracy of the weapon he was using, which was just an AR-15 basically. Yeah. And he's like at 150 yards or meters, where he was, like a decently trained person. He said he could have 10 hours with someone and have him hitting a penny in a target and shooting through the penny every time, no variation.
Yeah.
To the shot, wind or not. It's like 150 yards is like kind of where you want to be if you're shooting an AR-15. So it's actually insane to me that he even missed. What like how? First of all, why are you aiming for the head? Like a center, like a couple center mass shots probably would have killed him.
Yeah, he didn't have any kind of vest on.
No,
right?
I don't think so.
Well, the thing is, if you know about guns, which I'm sure this kid didn't, or maybe he did from Call of Duty.
He tried out for his school shooting team, and they said he was so bad that they couldn't let him shoot.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm sure that he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't know that you have to like sight a rifle in.
Yeah.
I'm sure that rifle was way out of sight. I mean, it was at least a little bit out of sight, or he's that bad.
Well, the thing is it probably wasn't out of sight because he's looking at the side of his head. He's pulling the trigger. As soon as he's pulling the trigger, Trump looks over.
Yeah.
And then his whole
head
moved right for the bullet to just graze him, which is actually just like dystopian book type crazy to happen.
It sounds like something that they would put in a story and you'd be like, that's not realistic. Yeah. Last minute he turns his head.
Yeah. What's super fishy about it is just the negligence of the Secret Service, and that the kid's parents were telling the cops the day of, a few hours prior to the shooting, were telling the cops that something was awry. They don't know where their kid is. He's off with his gun, basically.
Yeah.
There was no like heads up. There was, what was fishy about the video with the Secret Service is that the counter sniper team is on the roof looking at the guy. They said they had contact with him for at least 3 minutes. They're watching him. He pulls the gun out, or the rifle. He's like sighting up to him. They're looking at him.
Yeah.
And they allegedly, one of the counter snipers said, "I need to take the shot." Higher up said to stand down. And then as soon as he took the shot, obviously he could get a few shots off before they shot.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of really bizarre that a random goes on a roof. You've got counter snipers. You've got a bunch of security precautions in place. Kid is able to get on the only roof that's open for the shot, get up there, crawl up there, take 3 shots, and then they kill him.
And there's a ladder set up, which maybe somebody was working on that roof that day, but you're scoping out the area beforehand, right? Are you not? Are you like, this ladder's a liability?
Yeah.
We got to get this ladder out of here.
Yep.
Like, how does that not... there's too many things, and maybe it was all negligence, and it was just some random kid that got a wild hair because, of course you would. I mean, there's so many people who hate Donald Trump, so it makes sense to me, at least, that someone with a severe mental disability would decide he was going to take action. And his plan was horrible, and it worked. Well, it didn't, but that's only because he missed.
Yeah.
If he had done the shot, it'd be like, that was the worst plan ever, and it freaking worked. One little boy gets around the best police outfit in the world.
Yeah,
and
one little boy. Exactly.
It doesn't, none of it adds up. It's fishy all over the place.
Yeah, we can't get our freaking pocket knives into the Durham Bulls game.
I know, yeah.
And this guy can climb around on buildings around the Secret Service and not get even if the cops were to go up there and be like, "Yo, you got to get down, gun or not."
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here with this gun? It boggles my mind. It makes me think there's more at play than just negligence. I've been to a Trump rally before in 2016, and it was locked the frick up.
Yeah.
There was no shot. I mean, it was so like I'm taking notice of everything, all the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And I guarantee I didn't even see 50% of what was going on, at least on roofs.
It doesn't make any sense. And the thing, like, and the weird thing is, Trump had said, like, we need to get Secret Service protection for RFK. Like, this is insane that he doesn't have it. But I was like, now is not really the time to, like, add in, like, keep your private detail. Like, this is crazy. Like, they don't do crap.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want them? The female officer doesn't know how to holster a weapon. That's her whole job.
Doesn't know how to holster a weapon. First of all, if you watch Reagan's assassination attempt, the Secret Service around him are all like 6'5" giant men that can jump on someone and completely cover them.
Uh-huh.
Why do we have 5'4", 5'5" women trying to? I mean, you see him in the picture. Like, Trump just pops up over the woman. I mean, he's 6'3".
Yeah,
she's 5'5". That's like, there's a lot of body mass going on right there. Why is he able to do that?
And the thing is, like, I have nothing against women in the Secret Service. Like, women are statistically fantastic marksmen, but she's not because she can't holster her firearm. When you practice, even if you're just like for fun, you're practicing with a firearm, you practice pulling your gun out, aiming, holstering, pulling your gun out, aiming, holstering. If you're in the Secret Service, you better have done that 100,000 times at the very minimum.
If you're surrounding a former president, you better be a freaking commando.
You should be able to, like, put your gun back in your holster without a head. Like, you should be, that should be just so natural. You haven't practiced at all if you can't do that.
I know.
Unless her equipment failed, which I doubt, because
no,
you can see her, like, decide she's just gonna keep her gun
out.
Well,
she holsters it after the video, but
it's too much. And why is she holstering it anyway?
The meritocracy has completely fallen. At least in the government, there is none left. Absolutely none left. I mean, how are there 3 small women? Again, women can do it, but those women could not.
And they're in the wrong. They're put in the wrong place. Like, they shouldn't be, or maybe they should be around him, but they're not the ones to, like, be ready to cover him. There should be people who can fully cover him, ready to do that, and they should be shooting or aiming, like, not just, like, freaking out and, like, jamming their gun into their side. Like, that's ridiculous. There's too many things that went wrong at once, and then somehow nothing went right in that whole thing.
No.
The shooter effed up. He missed. The Secret Service completely forgot to check the area. The local police were ignoring bystanders. The bystanders weren't screaming their lungs out, "Get him off the stage!" Like, they should be yelling, "Get off the stage!" Like, nobody did right. The only person who kind of got out on top is Trump.
Yeah,
he put his fist up. Fight!
He got the coolest picture on planet Earth.
It might be the most like meaningful picture that has been taken so far this century. I mean, that picture is going to be 100 years from now. People are going to see that picture.
Yeah.
It's like, and nobody's going to know about all this BS anymore. Like, a lot of the BS, we have a whole nation right now arguing about politics, and it does matter for our future. However, in 100 years, if we're still around, nobody will really know. They'll be like, this guy was kind of, like, he caused a lot of rifts in the society. People will be like, okay, they're in school, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's going to turn
exactly.
into. Like, you hear about presidents in the past that were super controversial, caused a lot of political unrest, and you're like, literally don't care. Just, we're here.
Yeah, but we're here.
But we are here is the problem, so it's real. And I don't even know. I think it made me feel so unsettled when it happened, because I was like, this is just not.
Oh my God.
This is dystopian. This is not like what we need to have happening right now.
It was so dystopian. We were all sitting in the driveway, and I pulled out my phone. It was like, Trump shot. I was like, that's not a real headline.
Yeah.
I was like, he shot the freaking Clays or something in the Mar-a-Lago.
He shot a 400-yard.
No, and it's crazy. All the libtard media coming out as breaking headlines. Trump ushered off stage after he fell. Like, all that crap.
And they're saying Trump rushed off stage after loud noises at rally. You're like,
yeah,
like, this is not the time for this political bullshit.
And it's every single media outlet did the same exact crap. I can't believe that they refused to use assassination. I said it in my mind. I'm like, they're not going to say assassination. They're going to, and it's now the A word. It's unreal. And then as soon as they release these headlines, they're like, it was Trump's fault. It was Trump's fault because of all his hateful rhetoric.
Yeah.
It's like, no. It's like, not because you've called him Adolf Hitler for 8 years and called all of us, like normal people, Nazis for 8 years. It's none of that, because someone wouldn't take that seriously at some point and be like, I need to take out Hitler.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what these people do. It boggles. I mean, I've been in the jungle on Twitter, freaking going crazy with this crap. I mean, with the Piers Morgan show, just he has a bunch of like libtards on there, and they're just all saying that it was a setup, that Trump did it on purpose, that it was a freaking blood pill, to like people saying that they don't condemn the shooter for shooting. They're like, he shouldn't have missed. Like, it is absolutely crazy. There's a whole movement going on, which I don't know if I'm exactly for it or not, because I think the First Amendment is true in that you can use it at your discretion, and if you use it wrongly, you can get punished, or you should get beat up. Basically, you should get bullied. So a lot of these business owners went on freaking Twitter and was like, he shouldn't have missed. This is ridiculous. This would have been the greatest day, July 13th, the greatest day ever in America. And this whole movement by the MAGA people is like, they're taking down their businesses because these people are posting from their bar in like social media pages, and there are like hundreds of thousands of people like writing into the cops and into these guys like yo, this is not okay. There was one firefighter, freaking hate firefighters, whatever. There's one firefighter who was like, he shouldn't have missed. He probably got 1 million people in his inbox, like just lighting him up. He resigned from the firefighters the next day, which he should have. I think all these people are just absolute morons.
Well, it's just so fascinating how short the short-term memory is with that kind of stuff. Like, literally 2 weeks ago, you had people like, Trump's inciting violence, Trump's calling for violence, and then you have these people like, he should have died, he should have gotten shot.
Oh, I know.
It's like, come on, make up your mind. Like, you sound like you don't have any real opinions anymore. Like, you completely discredit yourself.
I'm let's see here. I'm trying to find this clip from let's see this real fast.
That was my issue, just to add well, if you have the clip ready, well,
I don't have the clip yet.
That was my thing with the whole Bud Light thing, is I thought they made a horrible mistake. What they did was just crazy. It was just reaching for an audience that they don't have.
I know.
And completely stepping on the toes of their audience they definitely do have. And however, I don't think their business should have failed, because I don't think people should be canceled.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Permanently.
Yeah,
I feel like you should be able to recover, and they have. And I'm glad. There's American Jobs. It's an old American company. They learned their lesson and they've recovered. And I feel like I felt a little hypocritical when it was going on, because I definitely was. It was pissing me off. But now, like, I feel like it's time to be like, we forgive. You have to be able to forgive. That's the thing.
The problem is you can't forgive the executives that hate you. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is like, I love like big business as a whole, because it provides so many people with jobs and families and incomes, whatever, benefits. But the people at the top are just absolute brain dead morons.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Disney. Disney's been ticking me off.
But they're literally losing so much money.
They're losing
and they
so
just
much
got
money.
hacked.
They're ticking off all of the Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
I recently became a Star Wars fan after we watched the prequels.
Yeah,
I was like, this is fantastic. I watched them when I was real little. Don't really remember them, and so I was just curious on what Disney was putting out, or Lucasfilms, but it might as well be Disney.
Yeah.
And so they got this new show, The Acolyte. Oh my God. The worst. They had $180 million budget, twice the budget of The Phantom Menace. And they put out the worst piece of hot garbage that's ever reached the TV.
Yeah.
It was Leslie Headland, she directed it.
Yeah.
She was Epstein's personal assistant turned lesbiano that basically wrote a fanfic of Star Wars and made it. She completely breaks Star Wars. There's so many things. So it's supposed to be 87 years before The Phantom Menace, right before the prequels, this show.
Yeah.
Completely breaks everything about The Phantom Menace. Freaking that, what's his name? Something Mundi. Coyote Mundi. He's the giant head dude in the council with the Jedi.
The green? Is he green?
He's not green.
What color
big,
is he?
tan, long head. Yeah. He basically said, this is a bit of a tangent, but he says, there has been 1,000 years of peace. There is no Sith left.
Yeah.
Goes into the show. He's in the show. There's Sith everywhere. 10 Jedi die just randomly. She turned the Jedi into these like emotional like retards. They can't find people for no reason. They can't use the Force for anything. and they have this little gopher like sort them around this planet, like looking for stuff. There's these twins, these black girl twins, don't make any sense. They're saying they were spawned in by the Force by these coven of retard witches, and then the retard girls totally break Anakin's story because Anakin was the only, was it the emergence in the Force? He was not born by mate, he was born by the Force or whatever.
Yeah.
They're saying that they were born by the Force, split by the Force. It just, and they're like two retards. The characters are just two retards. It's basically just a show full of retards and doing retarded stuff. The fans hated it so much that they gave it like a basically nothing, like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. The director got so mad they came out with a diss track about Star Wars fans,
What do you mean?
saying we don't give a f about your discourse. We make whatever we want to make. It's like, but you're working for the Star Wars fans.
Yeah, you're selling this.
You're selling it
to the. You have a actual whole fan. You were. If you are directing a Star Wars film right now for Disney, you were handed one of the biggest fan bases of all time by a company with an almost limitless budget. That's the easiest freaking job in the world.
Easiest job in the world. But the Disney execs give the director spot to the most retard on the planet. There's a freaking interview with her. And the interviewer is like, fans are saying this is the gayest Star Wars that there's ever been. And she's like, well, we like to think that, don't we? And they just like, they laugh on our graves. They want us all that.
Put a girl in it, make it gay.
Put a girl in her, make it gay. It's Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy and company.
Yeah.
That are just a bunch of freaking morons ruining my Star Wars series that I want more of.
I bet George Lucas is sitting there laughing. He's like,
he's not a part of it.
He's got all this money because Disney bought him out, and he's like, they ruined it.
They completely
took
it
and they ruined it. I'm sure he's got so much money though that he does not even care.
Yeah, true, but they made the how can you make the worst thing? $180 million budget. It looks like a Sundance Festival movie the way it's freaking filmed. It looks like I filmed in my freaking iPhone. What the frick? There's a scene in the last episode where Jedi's getting force choked by his like Padawan for no reason, makes no sense, and they CG a tear down him, and it like speed runs down his face. It's like that is stupid. You can't $180 million. You can't like get some makeup or something, get a real tear, or maybe have a little bit more time on the CG. F you.
And also, Vader was like the only one who did the force choke. You can't just reuse that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there'd never been a force choke.
Yeah.
Ever until Vader did it.
Yeah.
And then, of course...
Well, it's a Sith thing. Like, the whole idea is... I mean, this is just turning into a Star Wars lore episode, but the whole thing is, like, the Sith have, like, a lot more power than the Jedi. But the Jedi have, like, good on their side.
Yeah.
So, but the Sith can do, like, way more with using anger and hate. Like they can do a lot more cool stuff.
But there was never supposed to be a force choke ever until Vader, because he's a lot more powerful than everybody else. Yeah, it boggles my mind that these big companies just want to rail us in the butthole and keep smashing us and smashing us and smashing us until all our organs are dust, and then they pull out and say it's our fault.
It is insane. It's uncalled for. It's insane. And I think it's going to change. I think that you look at this, like, a good example of it is the show Kill Tony, which, by the way, if you don't know Kill Tony and you want an introduction episode, the latest episode that came out is probably the funniest episode literally ever. I think anyone would love it. I mean, it's just so funny. They've got Shane Gillis doing Donald Trump and Adam Ray doing Joe Biden, and they're making fun of everybody. Like, no one is spared. They're so
it's
freaking funny.
so funny. And
they're
it's
making fun of everybody. They're
so
making fun of
good.
themselves. It's perfect. It's an awesome show. But my point is, Kill Tony has been around for like 13 years or something, and they've been steadily growing. But recently, they have started filling this void of like actual comedy and an actual like they're almost filling the void of SNL in a way, which is weird
I mean,
because
the
they're a
last
completely
episode,
different show.
Look up what the last episode is. Last night, it was they steadily get like 1.5 million views
On YouTube alone.
And this last episode has blown the frick up. Last night it was at 3.7. I remember I looked it up.
It is at
It's at 5.8. It is blowing
5,861,099 views 2 days ago.
blowing up.
It's freaking hilarious. And there's so many stupid funny moments. The whole concept of the show, for people who don't know, is people come up, they do 60 seconds of stand-up comedy. Most of them suck. The panel roasts them. And they always have guests on. And sometimes the guests are characters. In this case, Shane Gillis is playing Donald Trump. Adam Ray playing Joe Biden. So freaking funny. But this is a thing, like, I found out about them maybe a year ago. And I felt like I was kind of like late to the party. But the people viewing it now are like everybody. Like it's starting to it's tickling into mainstream, which is
I know.
insane because it is so vulgar. They say everything you're not supposed to say.
Anything you want to say.
Literally whatever you want to say. Anything. Like anything. Race jokes, anything, abortion jokes, like anything that is a hot topic. And everything that is a hot topic, they talk about. Their politics. The host's politics.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. And he isn't, like, gatekeepy about it either. He loves to make fun of the guy he likes.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny. No one's safe. And I love that it's tickling mainstream now because that means a cultural revolution to me. The fact that, we had... Everything was getting so precise and careful and canceled. And now, like, people are getting canceled and it's only lasting, like, a week. And then they're just like, I'm still here.
We're back.
Like I remember when Louis C.K. got canceled and he was out for, like, a year and a half, 2 years. Like, people were actually, like, it was wrecking their careers.
Yeah.
And now it's like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like, it's just
you just go to Kill Tony.
You can't truly cancel anybody anymore. And there's actual platforms you can get on where you can say anything. And if it's funny, you're good. If you're not funny on that show, you get demolished. Like, completely ripped apart, like, to your soul. And it's just all about being funny. Nothing about... There's no agenda. There's no agenda. There's truly no agenda.
No.
And it's so relieving to watch something with no agenda.
Every Tuesday morning, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Because, truthfully, yes, sometimes Tony gives his politics, but he's not pushing them on you.
No.
He's saying it. And the show is all about saying wild stuff, so it's not like... It's not really pushy.
No, it's not pushy. Such a great show.
But there's no agenda is the thing. Like, you can have your politics and you can say them, but you just can't make an agenda. Once you do that, you wreck everything.
Wreck everything.
It's so bad.
Okay. Let's do this clip and then we could wrap it up.
Okay.
After the Star Wars tangent and then the Kill Tony tangent, the big business tangent, we're back to this morning on Trump versus Biden. Oh my God.
What's going on? It's not plugged in. It's set up to work.
Oh.
What?
question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an
Biden after COVID diagnosis, in quotes, I feel good.
elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It should.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
The hilarious part about that is getting shot in the ear and getting COVID.
Almost getting it. Yeah, are the same.
It's like busting your knuckle, both of them.
Yeah.
Like this is the most BS. Like the only hard part about getting shot in the ear is the fact that you got shot at. It's all mental. It's not gonna be that bad. Like you'll be fine. Getting COVID, you cough a couple times.
Yeah. Almost.
Neither of them are even bad, and these people on the news, they're elderly. Trump is extra elderly too, by the way. And so if Biden gets over his cold,
it's actually not that strong that Trump almost got assassinated the day of and then went to the RNC the next day. And they're saying that that's a sign of strength. Not really, though. But if Biden at his age got a cold and then recovered, it would be seen as the same sort of strength, correct?
Correct. It's so dumb. Trump, it's mental fortitude getting shot at and then going to the RNC. Has nothing to do with your ear hurts. You can rip an old man's ear off. He'll be fine the next day.
Okay, if I almost got assassinated, I would be like, put me in a box now until I figure stuff out.
It's the mental aspect of it, but it's hilarious. You're trying to say like let's compare this cold to this ear wound, which is just, by the way, hilarious. And then you're trying to say it's the physical part of it. Neither of them are bad. Yes, getting shot at, there's a mental tax. It's not the same thing.
And you get your ear kind of blown off.
You're not going to be traumatized from a cold. And if you are truly very old. If they're saying that this cold is the biggest thing he's faced his whole presidency, he's ancient.
It is. Oh, new video sent us Saturday at the Trump rally.
So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
Oh, that's not even a good video.
Down. Stay down. Stay down.
Look at this guy.
Who's that guy?
Get down. Get down. Get down. Hey, get down. Get down. Get down, guys. Holy shit. No fucking way. Oh, are you ready? On you. Move. Down, down, down. Someone shot. Someone shot.
Hey, nobody freaking cares.
I'm good. Check. Keep back!
The Trump rally crowd is the most probably hilarious crowd ever. Because you got a lot of the normal people who are just Trump's coming, let's see what he's got, and they're Trump fans, but they're not like the super ultra Trumpers. The super ultra like Trump is literally come to earth. He's divine. He's going to rescue us and save us from everything. Those people are insane. I don't like the. That's the one thing about the whole Trump thing. I don't like the idolization. Or like when I say idolization, I mean in like a religious way. I don't like the religious idolization of them. Like,
but you're always gonna get that with both sides.
I know.
Actually, I don't know if there's anyone who idolizes Biden very
he's
much.
come to save us.
But we have seen we have seen two stickers locally.
Yeah,
Biden
locally.
Harris. Locally, two Biden Harris stickers. Saw both of them. One was like a black dude who looked like he wanted free stuff, kind of.
Yeah.
And then the other one was a white, like, ultra crotch woman.
Yeah. That's the thing. I just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, they are the players in the elites game, and I truly don't fully trust anybody who I don't know. I can't. But it's very obvious who you can trust more.
Well, I trust Trump at least that he has already done 4 years, and we've seen it. We already saw what he does.
Everyone was like, he's gonna get us into World War III, blah blah.
Yeah.
We're the closest we've ever been to World War III, and he's gone. And he would have most likely done it, handle all this stuff with Russia and Ukraine and everything real different. He wouldn't have left all the weapons in Afghanistan. He would like. There's too many things that like talk about. You could say all the complaints that the people on the left had. You could just point them right at Biden, and they would make more sense. And that's the thing. It's like, let's just be reasonable here. Like, that's not. Let's put everything to the side and think about like what's best for the longevity and the strength of the country. That's it. And then pick.
They don't.
And it's easy.
They don't think about that.
Ridiculous. Okay, guys. So that was your daily dose of politics with two retarded people. And so join us next time in 8 days to see what we're on next.
I go ahead.
Okay, goodbye, guys.